The sky is looking pretty ominous, and I've come outside quickly because I need to harvest some basil. I just made some pasta and realized that I only have 2 cubes of pesto left. I made pesto a year ago next month, and I am almost all out. And I have basil spread around the garden, and I really need to get it inside and get it processed so that I can get pesto in the freezer. I need to hurry up. I had no plans on coming out into the garden today because, as you saw, it's about ready to come down. So if you'd like to see me harvest a little pesto, well, not pesto, basil, come on in the garden with me and let's get harvesting. In my green stalk, I have this purple basil, and it is beginning to go to seed. Well, it's flowering, and so it's time to get this out of here. I don't want it to go to seed. I really am trying to utilize my harvests, and so I got to get it out. And this has some leaf miner and some sun damage, so I'm going to be taking these leaves off before I even get them in the house. I like to do that when I'm harvesting. If I see some damage of any kind, I like to take care of that prior to me getting in the house. I don't want to deal with any of that once I get inside. I like to take care of it when I'm outside. So these are damaged leaves, and I don't want those in my pesto. And I definitely don't want leaf miner. If you're not aware of what leaf miner is, I will put some information in the description box below so that you can understand what I mean when I say leaf miner. Now I still have a little bit more to take care of to get this in my colander and ready to go inside. I'm just tossing it down here on the ground. I will be picking it up later and getting it into my disposal bucket. But right now I don't have my disposal bucket with me because I'm not prepared. I was not planning on coming out and doing a video. As I mentioned, I was in the house and I was just trying to make a little dinner and realize that I'm almost all out. Literally only 2 cubes left because I put them in ice cube trays of pesto. So harvest I shall. And all I'm going to do is cut it back. I'm not going to cut it all the way because, get away. I hope to be able to harvest more off of it at a later time. That's my hope. I'm hoping that this will not be the last time I'm able to harvest off of this. We're in the month of July, so there still should be some time for this to grow. Are you all harvesting your basils? Now that's the purple. I have a lot more purple. I'm gonna take it down as far as I possibly can, but still allowing it to come back. I hope you all can see. I'm not quite sure what you all can see. I have you all facing away from me, but I'm just cutting the leaves, taking a look at them, making sure that I'm not taking anything with leaf miner in or sun scald because it has been extremely hot and I just don't want that in my final product. So the question was, when you're harvesting, do you also do this or do you wait until you get in the house before you go through whatever it is you're harvesting? You just take everything in and then your compost bucket or bowl is full? Or do you do as I do and try and go through your product as you are picking it out of the garden? That way, when you bring it in, all you have to do is wash it and process it. That's always my goal. I try to make life a little bit simpler for me as best I can. All right, so let's move on to the next. Next in the green stalk is my sweet basil. And as you can see, it just has some sun damage, but I'm taking those leaves off. The sun has been very high and very hot. And so I'm just trying to take those off as best I can. See if there's anything else in here. It smells amazing, you guys. I love the way basil smells. Do you all like basil? Put it in the description box below if you like the taste of basil. Do you grow it? What do you use it for in your gardens? Do you make your own pesto? And that is the sweet basil. On to the next plant. In the back of the garden, and this is another really big basil plant. I don't know what type of basil this is. I asked my sister because my sister gave me some basil earlier this year. I think she just planted several packets of basil, not thinking they would germinate. And so she was able to have several varieties of basil in her garden. And she told me, come and get some of this stuff, which is typical sister conversation. She always tells me, come and get this. It's overgrowing. And I came and got several basil plants. Let me tack this up, y'all, because it's in the way. And I don't know if you all can see, but it's flowering. Let me show you all. It is flowering up under there. So it is time to get this in the house. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting the flowers out, and I have a little bucket down on the ground, and I'm taking the bucket, I'm taking the flowers and I'm just tossing them into the bucket. I hate to do it because the insects that are feeding off of these flowers won't have them to feed off of. But I need this basil. So I'm just going to cut it down here where it has a Y, just like that. And again, taking off all the leaves that are brown, all the leaves that have any kind of spots on it, any type of damage by any insect, and cutting those flowers off so that I can get this washed up quickly and into the blend. I can't come outside 5 minutes without these flies coming and trying to say hello. Ugh. So I hope you all can see. I'm just cutting it back. And again, I don't know which, it looked like it could have been a sweet basil, but in all honesty, it doesn't necessarily smell like a sweet basil. So I'm hoping that it's not going to change the taste of my pesto too much. I should have put my gardening sleeves on because now I'm seeing mosquitoes and they trying to come out and take a bite out of me. And I don't want that. There has been talk that mosquitoes are now putting out more viruses and who knows what else. And so they're telling us to make sure that we are covered up and not be bitten by a bunch of mosquitoes. All right, so now let me finish this up and then we'll go to the next plant. I can hear thunder in the distance, so I need to chop this down. This is the second to the last plant. I do believe this is the same as the last plant that I just chopped. I'm not sure if this is sweet basil or what, but I have this one and one more plant, so I'm going to give this a quick chop. The mosquitoes are relentless. I've got to get out of here. As I mentioned, it was not my intention to come out and do any major gardening today. I was in the kitchen and it sparked me to have to come outside. And it's a wonderful thing. I don't know about you all, but I find it to be a wonderful thing to be able to go out into the garden and grab what I need versus having to think about getting in the car and going to the store, dealing with a whole lot of crazy out there in the street, and then coming home after being robbed because you have to pay so much for so little. And that's all. The rest of these are peppers. I only cut it down just a little bit. I'm going to leave that as it is. I'll go through what I cut down before I take it in the house. And I will need to take this cage off and wrestle my pepper back in it because this pepper is beginning to give fruit. I don't know if you all can see that. Let me bring you all in a little bit closer. It is giving fruit. And I believe this is my paprika pepper. Yes, this is my paprika pepper. So I'm going to get away from here because the mosquitoes are already trying to land on me. And I feel like one has already bitten me. So let me go to the last basil plant. I thought I had just one basil plant left to harvest off of. But nope, there is two over here. And I harvested some fish peppers the other day. And I've got a ton of fish peppers in here as well, but I needed to take off the plant. So this is the basil plant right here that I'm talking about. I'm just going to give it a haircut because I'm fighting mosquitoes and I'm trying not to be bitten because of all the health warnings we have been given here recently. Again, I was not anticipating coming out to do all of this today. This was just a quick, I was in the kitchen and then I needed something. So I'm just quickly, sorry to cross over you all, quickly cutting back, trying not to cut the pepper that is in here because there is a pepper in here and it is right here. Hope you all saw that. I did not cut the pepper. Thank goodness for small favors. Sorry for crossing over everybody. Now the last one is right here. I do not know what type this one is, but it does not smell like a sweet one. It smells like it could very well have been cinnamon or something. Let me see. Yeah, this does not have the same smell as my sweet basil, but I do still need to cut it back. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut it back and I'm going to dry this one for tea or something of that nature. So I'm just going to quickly give it a haircut. Again, I'm moving quickly. I'm probably messing up a whole lot, which is not my intention, but I'm really trying not to get any kind of dengue fever from the daggone mosquitoes. Unbelievable. And I keep mosquito dunks in my liquid fertilizer buckets in there, but since there seems to be a lot of mosquitoes coming out of the enclosure, I may need to put more because I'm seeing some mosquitoes running around and I don't want them. Mosquitoes are no good for you at all, period. I'm just going to cut all this down, trying not to cut the bitter melon because the bitter melon has been growing everywhere. Here's a piece right here. We're just going to flip that back over there. And I'm just trying to get this over here. That is not basil. That is an old piece of pepper. Okay, I think I'm done, everybody, because I am itching like crazy, and I'm hoping I did not get bit by anything. Okay, so I have a banana pepper in here that's growing nicely. I don't know if you all can see. Let me look and see what you all can see. You can't see well. This is a banana pepper right here, and it's really tall, and it's growing up. It's growing. It's lanky. I'm gonna chop it so that it will bush out, and I'm gonna lay that down just like that. And that's it. I'm done. I'm going in the house. This was the original banana right here that I'm pulling out. The stalk, the stem that died. I'm just gonna get that soil off of there. I'm gonna toss it on the ground, and I'm going in the house. Before I quickly call it a day, I want to show you all my harvest. This is what I slowly picked with you all, and then I got manic. I had to hurry it up. I quickly picked this huge bunch here and that huge bunch over there. That's what I'm going to dry for teas. I've got to pick through this to make sure I'm not taking anything inside that I don't want inside. And I also ran across another bitter melon. This is like, I think, my 7th bitter melon, and more fish peppers. So I'll be washing these up. I'll be turning all of my fish peppers into a liquid hot sauce, kind of like a Louisiana. And these are going to go into the freezer for use in whatever I choose to use it for later on as time goes by and I need it. So I need to hurry this up because I've already moved my body all the way over here to the table by the back door. So far, the mosquitoes, I don't think, have followed me over here. I'm not feeling any mosquitoes, not seeing any mosquitoes, but they will find you. All you have to do is stand outside long enough and breathe. So I want to thank you all very much for joining me in the garden today. I'm sorry this is so quick. This was not my intention. As I mentioned a couple times, I was just coming out to grab a little bit of basil. And as you can see, I had more than a little bit. And I still have more plants in the garden. I did not chop everything down, but I got enough to make pesto. So I'm not going to show you all me making pesto. I have shown you all that before. I will put a clip up of my pesto making so that you can see how I make pesto. And that's about it for me in the garden today. I want to say thanks again, everybody. Do me a favor, if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. And I hope to see you either in my fruit forest or my kitchen real soon. Bye for now. And oh yeah, make yourself some pesto. Look at this, y'all. Ooh, I feel this is a much bigger harvest than I got last year. Last year's harvest was quite small, but this year, it's pesto making time. Yes, it is.